Hi there, it's Karen here. Welcome back. And I'm back with you today to do some more work on our 50s journal. I'm just working through the signatures, adding some page extensions and tucks and just adding bits here and there. Struggling with it a bit because it's not something I very often do, but I wanted to do more. I've been inspired by Rachel at Roxy Creations and Carol Laws, who always add extra bits to their journals, and I was trying to do the same, but it's not coming naturally to me, so it takes me a moment to figure it out. So I thought, well, I'll just show you a couple of bits that I did off camera after the last video. So we started, I was doing this wraparound envelope for our first signature, and I just collaged the inside like so, which I'm really happy with. So we had this part on the outside. I just think those colours work lovely together, and then I just used the rest of the piece on the inside and a little bit more here, and I ran out of paper, so I had a bit of, I actually took a strip from one of those magazines that I've got for across the bottom there. So that's wrapping around that signature, and then I was struggling a bit with this extension here on this piece of music, so I ended up adding it there. I'm going to decorate down here and adding a little tuck here with one of Joey Cardmaker's tags from her 50s gals. I still haven't quite got it right because you can't, it sort of catches as it flips out like that, and I feel like I want to put something here, but it kind of works okay, but it's not perfect. And I don't think, have I done anything else? I'm not sure. I think the only other thing I did, because this was still wet, I just used one of my corner punches and did a little funny. I've just noticed that I actually did a different punch on that one to that one, which wasn't intentional, and I didn't realise I'd done that. But oh well. Never mind, it's quirky. So that signature, I can't say it's ready to go because I've probably got more things I'll want to do on it, but it's okay so far. So I'm going to start on the next signature. I'll see how far I get today. I'm working against the clock a little bit because my husband's gone to collect our granddaughter from school, and because we had Arlo overnight, and it was a bit of a disturbed night for us. He didn't get disturbed as much, but he tends to cry out a lot in the night, and we think he's going to cry, and he starts to cry and then he settles down, but of course he keeps waking us up, and after about 3 o'clock I really didn't sleep. I was just sort of dozing a bit, but I was constantly on the alert. And then we had to get him up at 7 this morning and get him to nursery, so it was all a bit of a blur, and I'm a bit tired, so I'm not really firing on all cylinders today, but I really wanted to come on and get another video in the can, because next week I don't know whether I'll be able to get anything done, and I really wanted to get on with this. But the other wrinkle in the story is that we've got some work happening on the outside of the house, and every now and again there's drilling and there's banging, so if it gets really noisy I may have to stop the camera anyway. But they're doing great job. They're renewing our cladding and our drain pipes and gutters and all sorts. So doing some great work, but it's quite noisy. So there's a bit of a lull at the moment. So I thought, well, I'll see how far I get, and I may end up having to finish it later in the week just to get the video finished. But I thought I'll make a start and see how I go. So this is the second signature, and I haven't got my edges level. I'm not too worried as long as they don't stick out of the journal. I'm not too worried if they're not all lined up with each other. Depends on the type of journal you're doing, doesn't it? Sometimes you want them all really perfect. I'm not overly fussed. I usually try to get them more or less lined up, but actually in this one I feel a bit more relaxed about it. So just going to flip through to see what we've got. So we've got this piece, which is from our magazine, which was this nice piece that was showing some wallpapers from the time, and there's some wallpaper samples here. And I was wondering what to do. I just turned this over because I wanted to reinforce it a bit and add something to it. And I remembered I had these Tim Holtz wallpaper sample pack, And I was looking at it and I thought, well, actually, some of these go really well with this. And I thought this one was a very good match for this paper. And I've been trying to decide how to attach it and what to make it into, because I haven't turned over enough to really make it into a tuck. But it's got to not catch on the inside. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue it down there and flip it out like that. And then we can either put a pocket, or we can use it as journaling. But what I would like to do, let's just put these bits back in here. I would like to stencil on the back of there because it's very white. So I thought I'd do a little stenciling, just a bit of light stenciling. And I've picked out this stencil. It's an Echo Park stencil. I don't know if it's got a name. Random Dot. Well, I thought there's such a lot of polka dots on the dresses in this journal that I thought a random dot, polka dot effect would be fitting. So that's what I've decided to use. So I'm going to just do it fairly lightly, and I'm going to do it with my worn lipstick because I think that's a good colour to go with the other colours in this. So there we go. Yes, Arlo was... we picked him up from nursery yesterday because his mummy and daddy went to a wedding, and that was why we had him overnight a couple of weekends ago as a bit of a trial run. And I think I told you what a good boy he was, and how he didn't make any kind of fuss about it being us and not mummy and daddy putting him to bed or anything. Well, he didn't quite feel the same way this time. I think when we went to pick him up from nursery, he was quite happy to see us. But then he looked for mummy, because when we went before, the first to see where the nursery was and so that they knew who we were, we went with mummy. So he kind of went, smile, Nan and Grandad, and then he looked beyond us saying, Mummy? Mummy? Mummy wasn't there, was she? Oh dear. So he got a little upset. He gets over it quite quickly. I mean, we had a few little upsets at different times, and at bedtime he did get himself quite upset that Mummy wasn't there, and Mummy and Daddy. But he does get over things, and he's such a good boy, really. And it took us a little while to settle him down. But once we did, he went off to sleep. He's a little boy who does like his sleep. And I think there came a point when he was just too tired to protest anymore. But I mean, it didn't go on for ages or anything. It was just that he wanted, we just had a long weekend. He'd been with Mummy and Daddy for 4 days, and suddenly they were gone. So, and he was a bit confused because we haven't done that. We haven't picked him up from nursery before. He's not used to it. And then we had one little upset during the night when he did get upset. And Richard ran down to settle him again, and it didn't take very long. As part of our trying to calm him down, so I was going to do it that way, wasn't I? When he got upset at bedtime, I fished in the toy box that we have and found a really lovely teddy that hadn't really been played with much before. I think it actually probably belonged to his mum in days gone by. And I said, oh, here's a lovely teddy. Cuddle this teddy. And he really, really took a shine to the teddy. And I think the upset was caused because he lost the teddy during the night. So the teddy came to the rescue. And, yeah. But he didn't insist on taking it with him today or anything. But it did help us get through the night. So Teddy now lives in his cot. This bottle's nearly empty, so I'm hoping I'll be able to get enough out to do this. And let's put some glue. Make sure because it's a little shorter than the page. So bless him, when we took him to nursery this morning, he stood in the doorway of his little room where he goes, and he didn't want to go in. I think partly because the girl who was greeting them as they came in was somebody he didn't know. And I think he'd had enough of being messed about and not seeing Mummy and Daddy. So he just stood there and went, nope. Hung on to Grandad's leg. Nope, not going in. But then, so we managed to get somebody to come and greet him who he knew, and he was happy to go to her. So I'm hoping this isn't too near the join. I think it's okay. Yeah, that'll be all right. And then that will flip out, and we've got a bit of polka dot in the background. And I think I want to round these corners. No, I have got my corner around here, so I think I'll just do that. I'll round the corners. I might even ink around those edges. No, that's not right. Need to go in further. That's better. Right, I'll just grab my vintage photo and just go a little bit round that edge just to make this look a little bit more vintage. I'm going to do something similar on the other side of this. Got another piece of Tim Holtz wallpaper ready to go as well. So I think I'm just going to ink around this as well. That already looks better. Okay, I think that should be okay on the other side. Maybe a little bit on this side too. Yeah, I think that goes quite well with the that paper. So, right. Put this one ready to deal with when we get to it. Okay, let's carry on. So that's done. I like that. And we've got carry on. Don't think there's too many things to do in this one. So I did swap out the paper bag. I had this, what did I do? I'll put it back in the box. I had a brown, very, very crinkly paper bag, and I decided, I wasn't sure about it. It was so crinkly, I thought if I tried to cover it, it would just all crinkle up even more. It was very thin. So I swapped it out for just this plain white one, which can be covered quite easily and inked up. Folded this up so it's a bit smaller than the other one, but that's all right. So I've still got a little pocket, which I might just glue down. Or shall I wait until I've decorated? Might be easier to glue it after it's been decorated. Maybe I'll do that before I sew in. That would probably be sensible, wouldn't it? Alright, so we'll carry on going through. I don't think I've got many more bits and pieces to do. Just one last little thing to show that I changed. I actually originally had in the middle, I haven't changed the inside, so I've got this for the middle, which I really like, and I've still kept that, but I wasn't overly keen on this. I think it was the beer ad. I just didn't think it fitted with what I wanted, not with the ladies and the, you know, the lovely outfits and the fashion side of things. So this was all right, but I didn't like that. And then when I was looking on that, on the digital kit, I realised I'd missed a page. I'd not seen this one, and I thought she fitted perfectly with what I wanted. So I've still got the same on the inside, but on the outside I've got this piece, which I think actually fits in with this journal much better. So she's there instead. So she's vast improvement on the man with his beer bottle, in my opinion. And then we just carry on going through, and yeah, I think we're just going to the other side of, oh no, we've got this, the avocado dyed paper that I've got down as I've turned in, and I'm just going to add one of Joey's ladies again, like I did in the first signature. It flips out. I think this one goes nicely here. So I'm just going to glue that in. And again, I should probably do something with the corners once it's dried. Make sure it's all right up to the edges, and then slide it in there. There we are. I don't know if she's anybody famous. Anybody recognise her? I have no idea who she is. If she's anybody I should know. She looks quite glamorous. Right, so that's her in. And then this was this page here, which was the other half of that page from the magazine with all the pieces of wallpaper on it. And that one I think looks quite familiar. I think there's one similar to that, but the one I pulled out that I thought went quite nicely with it was this one. I think it goes quite well with the colours and the feel of this. So I think what I want to do, I was trying to decide what I was going to do with this. I think what I want to do is to glue that down, because that's not really giving us anything, and I'm going to stick it on there. I think I'm going to cut it down and make it into a pocket. But whether I make it a top loading, I think I'm going to cut it down, let's see, about here. Let's just put the pin in my glue. I don't need this clogging up. Pencil. Right, so I'm just going to have it going across the edge there. I'm just going to make it into a pocket and just trim it off a bit there. I think I'll do it this way round, because then I can properly line it up. It was too near the edge. It's a case of which way do I want to get into the pocket, and I'm wondering if it's a little tall. I might cut it down a little as well. I think I quite like the idea of the pocket being here. I think there's room to get something in. So if I had a journal card, you could slide it in there, couldn't you? Yeah, I think I will, because I don't really want to make a... I mean, I could put a long thing tag on. I might do that on another one, but I think I might just shorten it a touch. I could use this for something, I think. Might be used to decorate somewhere. And pop that there. And I'm going to do my side tuck, my side notch. Is that in the middle? Yeah, it is now. My middle. Around it a little bit. So this is another Tim Holtz wallpaper. I think I may have got one somewhere else as well, I'm not sure. But they're very, very sturdy. So and as these are quite flimsy, I thought it would give it a bit of strength having these in it. Right, I just want to glue this down. I don't think it's strong enough to make a tuck out of. Pop that under there. Let's do a bit of gluing. Now where's my glue gone? There it is. I'm going to glue it down well so that it doesn't catch as things go into the pocket. Make sure that edge is nicely covered. This isn't our usual day to have Alyssa. Usually we would have had her on the Tuesday, which is yesterday. This is now Wednesday. But because we had Arlo, we didn't want her to lose out, and we didn't want to lose out ourselves on seeing her this week. So we said, well, as she doesn't have any after-school activities on a Wednesday, would it be all right to pick her up today instead? And she was happy with it, and so were we. So that's why we decided pick her up today, and we can have our little Lissy fix as well. It's going to be a very grandchildren busy week this week, because then tomorrow is our usual Arlo day. Not quite sure what he'll make of coming here again, and we may even have him at some point at the weekend just for a few hours, because his mum and dad are trying to put their house on the market, and they're getting photos done on Monday, so they may want to get some, they'll probably want to get some tidying and cleaning and generally get the house looking as its best over the weekend, and it won't be easy to do that with a rambunctious toddler around. So, Nana and Grandad, he'll be sick of the sight of us. He'll get to the door and he'll go, nope, nope, not going in, nope. Because he does that. He's very good at no. One of his favourite words, no. No, I'm not going to eat my dinner. He does usually in the end, because like when he's protesting about other things, he's not one to keep it going for very long, because he does enjoy his food. So even though he might sort of protest just out of principle, it won't last very long. Right, so we've got that. All right, and I folded this in here, and I had something all ready to go that I thought would work. Where is it? It's here. I thought I had this nice piece I thought would work here. Can't remember how I was going to fix it, something like that, and flip it out. And we had this piece here all folded in, ready to go, and I don't know what I was going to do, but then I thought I really don't like these two backgrounds together, so that went over there, and I had to rethink. So I think I'm going to keep it simple. I've just got this piece just cut a piece from one of the digital sheets. I don't know, I could glue it in there like that. That could be a tuck, and it could flip out like that. I think that's what I'll do. I'll make that into a little tuck. I'll probably decorate it up a bit, because it doesn't really look like much, but it might be the easiest thing to do. It's just to tuck it in, make it into a little side tuck. But I've got to glue this bit down first. I was either cut that off or glue it down. I thought, well, I might as well glue it down and reinforce that piece of paper. Right. Alright. I don't really want to lose her, but I just feel like it just needs to get tucked in as far as it can. Otherwise it'll get caught in the spine here. So I think we'll be alright there. So again, I'm going to do, I might just, where are we? Grab the scissors. I might just snip this corner, that one, and that one. Yeah, that would look better, wouldn't it? So glue here. Oh, I might just put a little what's it? Thumb knot. Sometimes my words are failing me today. I've been very tired. I had a little kind of after we'd got back, because when we took Arlo, we hadn't had I hadn't had any breakfast or a cup of tea or anything. I mean, unheard of, start the day without a cup of tea. So that was the first thing I did when we got back. That hasn't worked very well. Never mind. I will rescue it. So sit down and a cup of tea when I got back, and then I had breakfast. And then I felt a bit better, but then I thought I think I just need to shut my eyes for a little while, just relax. I watched a YouTube video, which usually relaxes me and quite often sends me to sleep. Not that it's boring, it's just relaxing to watch. And then I quite often go back and watch bits I've missed afterwards. But then the guys started doing their drilling, and that was the end of that. But they're doing a really good job. Right, okay. Let's have another go at that. So, glue there, and there. Glue it down this edge. Along a bit. Along here. Hope that's about the right spot. Got it. Maybe. Got it in the right place. I think so, more or less. Let's get this dry wipe. So we've got that there, and we've got a little tuck spot there, so that's all right. And then that's the end of that signature. So, yep, there's probably more work to be done, but that's kind of got that at least up to a point where it can be, further decoration can be added. Now, what have I done with my other signature? Is it in here? Oh, it is in here. It is in there. All right, let's have a look at this one. See what needs to be done. Oh, I think we've got a black cloud coming over. It seems to be getting dark. I hope it's not looking too dark for you. So this is my little avocado dyed envelope in here. So I've got another one of these Joey Cardmaker ladies. So I'm going to glue that in there. Right, so I don't know if you can hear all the banging. Does it go all the way? I'm just gonna glue there. Glue all the way around. Okay, let's see. Get it central as I can. There we are. I think she looks really nice there. And just move that up a little. So we got that. Okay. My pin in again. Put the pin in, otherwise, because I'm having to eke out this glue. Need to refill my bottle. get through it so fast. And this one. Oh, here we are. Here's a little folded bit. Oh yes, and this is again, I've got the Tim Holtz wallpaper. If you look where the picture's been cut off, it's almost the same roses as on this wallpaper. So again, I'm not quite sure what I want to do. Do I want to make a flip out? Or do I want to make a pocket? Actually, I think what I want to do, neither of those things, I think I'm going to glue it to that and make it into a side tuck. I'm going to cut it down a bit. And I think I'm going to mark it. I don't want it about here. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. I quite like this background. It's a different green to the one that I was finding a little bit too green. It tones in nicely, so I want that to still show. So I think what I'm going to do, I do a straight line. And get my crinkle scissors out and do a crinkle cut. Look. So I glue that there, and top and bottom, then I can have something tucked in here, can't I? Yes, you can, Karen. I mean, I could flip it out, but I've, just want to do something else, something a little different again. So I don't want it glued in too far. So glue here. Oop. Come on. Oh, I haven't got long. A little tornado will be here very soon. Hang on, before I do any more, I want to just ink that edge so it's nicely defined and visible. Right, okay. Just going to do a little bit there and along here. I'll get it in the right place. Right, not too far in. I'm going to get it straight. Are we straight? That went more or less straight. Okay, and then we'll just glue this side down. Top and bottom is what I really meant. Glue down the top and bottom. And we've got a little side tuck. Yeah, I like that. I think that works. Right, let's see what else we've got in here. So we have our Cadbury's roses, and I'm going to make this into a side tuck as well. So I've already turned this over and glued it down so that when I come to do this, I can do my thumb notch and hopefully it'll behave and won't mangle it. Yeah! And we'll glue that. Top and bottom. Close that. I really think that's very pretty, that little side tuck with the rose, the big red rose. And then got that for the middle. I haven't got the same middle in. I'm just checking. I haven't done the same middle page in. Oh no, it is different. No, I don't think I've done the same middle page in any of them. I just feel I needed to check. No, they are all different. There's a few. I don't know. Paranoia kicks in every now and again. Right, and I've got this piece. Oh, this needs to be glued. Don't know if I've got any plans for this one. Don't think I would. Have I got any bits of wallpaper knocking around? No, so that's not got any. I haven't got a plan for this yet. I think I might just use it as a normal page with a pocket on it. Just wanted to glue this down, and I shall probably decorate this edge with something. A fabric ruffle or some lace, or oh gosh, I need a new glue stick. That's finished. Alright, I've got some just handy. So whoop. So I think probably the next job will be to get that cover finished so we can then possibly start sewing in. Don't know if I'm ready for that yet, for the sewing in, but it's got to happen soon. So let's just see what else we've got. That's a nice one. And there's something else that Carol likes to do, which I may have a go at on this one. And that's to make like a hidden pocket, and this one would lend itself very nicely to a hidden pocket. So I might just do that in the next video, or in another video. I don't think I've got time to do that today. This is going to be, I think this will be a side tuck, unless I can find something nice to flip out. What have I got? I've got a few ladies here. Put that there. Could be a side tuck, mind you, that would be, we'd lose her, wouldn't we? What have I got? This one, the colour would, a bit of a terrible colour clash. That's the trouble with the, sometimes I've just got the wrong background ones to go with these blues. This is the one with the green, which is really not what we want at all. Like that. You can flip out like that. That's a little tuck there. It's a little bit wide. Should I make it into a little narrow pocket? I've had a go at doing that already. So if I did that, oops, that's not very straight. Look at that. Totally wonky. Oh, goodness me. That's not good. Right. So could we have that as a pocket like that? Rachel from Roxy Creations style. Could it be a pocket? Possibly. You could make that into a little pocket, couldn't you? Should we try? I'm trying to do different things. So this is different. Okay, so I'm going to glue along this edge. And the bottom. Try and put it fairly, not too far in, and try and keep it straight. So it's there. I want to try and keep the pocket as big as I can. Alright, and then shouldn't really do it with the other bit of the signature lurking around. It'll get glue on it. And then down here and along the bottom as well. Let's close it up. Something's not straight. Definitely not straight. I'll have to trim it up a little bit to straighten it up at the bottom there. But then I think we have ourselves a flip out pocket. And just to prove it, I'm going to do a thumb notch right here. There we are. Okay, so we just need to do a little bit of tidying up along the bottom here, because there's, obviously I didn't cut it or did something, it didn't end up very straight at the bottom. A bit better. Alright, so we'll need a long thin tag to go in here. So it's gonna go down there. Where's my, so I got a ruler? Yep. There we are, that's gonna go down there. Okay. So that's that. I think that might be the last little job, which is probably a good thing, because I suspect they're not here already, they'll be here any minute. And that's that. Got the envelope. Yep, that's it. that is the signature as it is so far. I've just done a few little jobs on it, a few little things that I felt I wanted to do. And we'll carry on. I'm not sure what we'll do next week. I don't even know when I'll get to make another video for next week. If my videos go a little bit erratic, I'm sure you'll understand, because I've got 2 weeks of jury service and I really don't know what my commitment will be. I might not hardly be there at all and have loads of time to film, or I might be there every day and all day and be too tired to film at the weekend. Who knows? So you'll just have to see the videos when they come up, and if they're a bit erratic, I'm afraid that's how it's going to have to be. But I will do my best to keep on top of them, because I'm really enjoying this, and I really want to get it all sewn in and play in it and add lots of yummy things, lots of laces and fabrics and all the things that I love to do. So thank you for joining me today, and I'll see you again soon, I hope. Bye for now.